I think it's great. I'm surprised I haven't set up for it myself, which I should. I'm going to try to see if it's still active and running and whatnot. But I'm all for it because yeah, definitely a movie a day. Why
Yeah.
not take a little an hour 2 hour break out of your work day and whatnot. Enjoy a movie that get that theater experience. Depending, of course, I don't know. Do you think it will? More people will be going for sure, so it's going to be
Yeah,
semi
if it
crowded.
actually worked. I mean, at this point, the app is kind of buggy and it's not showing me anything in the area we live at. So I'm like, okay, maybe maybe they're just bugs to work out because it's such a massive increase all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
But if it works out, great. If it doesn't, I'm not really out anything because they haven't charged me.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
yeah.
okay, either way, it's an experiment, and if it works, great. If I get a couple movies out of it, I'm really okay with that.
Oh
Even
yeah.
if it's just like if it crashes the day after I make my second movie purchase, I'm still okay. I'm not out.
Yeah, no, I'm totally want to do it myself. So bring
Absolutely.
it
So
on.
then we can just watch the movies every single weekend.
Oh yeah.
You know, take the whole family at that point. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. There you
Totally.
go. Okay. On to our next story. This is going to be Disney. Disney has announced that it's pulling its library from movies from Netflix and launching its own streaming service. There are no specific dates. There's really no other information besides Disney saying they're pulling their information, their movies, and these are really just Disney stuff. They're saying that they're going to be negotiating with online services like Netflix or Hulu to keep their content, their Marvel content, and some of their other stuff like Star Wars in those places, which is a very interesting choice because why would you? I mean, that's a choice. So I can understand why they would want to do their own service. They're losing a lot of money by licensing it out and not selling it as a service directly. But a lot of this is going to come down to licensing rights. I know Disney for decades has just here's some stuff. People, cable companies across the world, you can show our stuff for whatever years if you pay this much money. And now they've decided, maybe a lot of those license deals have finally timed out, and they're like, we can finally do our own service, and really rake in the dough. And they will if they do their own service. We don't know when it's going to start, what content's going to be there, but we know Disney's in it to make money.
Totally. I've talked about it before. I wanted Disney to have their own thing. Remember that even in Europe, Disney actually has their own thing
Yes.
operating for a while. Obviously, we're not there, so don't know what the
Yep.
content that applies or what they actually show on there. But I wanted to do it. They know for a fact they have years and years and years of media from anything from the Walt Disney stuff. Of course,
Yeah.
their
All
old
those old movies.
movies,
Yep. Just
TV
on
shows,
demand.
old school. Of course, if you're watching the anything from the old black and white, the original like Steamboat,
Yeah. If
the
they
Mickey
had that
Mouse
full
cartoons.
library, I would totally probably subscribe to it.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, if you have a family at all, then this is probably going to be a must for
Oh
you
yeah.
and your kids, even like older kids, like 30-year-old ones.
Oh seriously.
Because there is such a wealth of content there that Disney's made over the last 20, 30, 40, whatever, for 50 years.
I would love to see the old. I mean, literally the old an Infunicello Mickey Mouse Club
Yeah.
stuff. Spin and Marty, Zorro.
Yeah, because all the content is just like wasting away in their vaults at this
Seriously.
point, and like why not put it on your subscription service, make some money off of it? But the big thing is like keeping new content coming, and at this point, they've already said that through 2019, they're still going to let Netflix develop all their Marvel stuff, like for their service, whether it's going to be the Defenders or Iron Fist or Power Man, Jessica
Yeah.
Jones, whatever that is, all the way through 2019. And at that point, I think they might revisit doing it themselves.
Yeah, because they do have their own like semi-individual apps. Like they have the Disney Junior, so you have the kid-friendly kind
All
of
that
stuff.
stuff from the cable show, yeah.
Exactly, of course, the Disney Channel itself, and then of course you got the more, especially if they're going to bring in their. I'm not sure how it's going to work with their Buena Vista stuff.
Yeah.
But either way, all that on there. Oh, I would love to go back and watch like all Disney afternoon things. I would love to see all the
No,
gargoyles,
there's yeah, like, tons
Tailspin,
of stuff, just sort of like
Ducktales.
decades of cable programming that's sitting there that they can't show all at one time on essentially a streaming service like cable, where it's just programmed television for 24 hours a day. Like there's only so much content you can provide there.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you have 2 or 3 versions of your Disney Channel, and this way people can just go through and see what you like, and it's also another way for them to see, oh, this is the content that people actually enjoy.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So there you go.
Anything old school Disney that you can think of that you'd like to kind of like reminisce?
I wouldn't mind watching those older cartoon versions like DuckTales, Darkwing Duck would be great. All those kind of old shows, but in addition, like the singular one-off cartoon episodes, like Goofy shows you get to play baseball or football,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
that you can actually watch on Facebook now. But as it being like a series on Disney, I wouldn't mind seeing all that stuff as well. 'Cause I
Well,
remember watching like the VHS versions of like Disney Cartoons Collected Volume 105 million,
exactly.
and just enjoying those too.
One thing that I wonder also, because since they do own ABC,
Yes.
then you got all those ABC shows that might be a possibility. Of,
Yeah, again, all
you
that's
know,
just going to be licensing, like
Mhm.
what stations have the rights to this, in what countries, and that's all. It really is going to come down to like Disney can wait at the clock until all those deals expire, and then just do their own thing and probably make money hand over fist.
Totally. Oh yeah.
But it's their numbers and account that do it. But I will look forward to actually paying more money for this kind of thing. How much would you pay for this though?
Honestly, with like the price for any kind of app thing, it's usually $10.
$10.
$9.99.
Would you pay $50?
$50? No.
No. Okay, so
No.
$50 is too much. $10 is fine.
Mhm.
$20. $19.99.
I mean, you got to have some
Maybe.
pretty good content on
Okay.
there.
Yeah, so
Pretty
I
good
mean that's
content.
what I'm feeling. Like Disney can because it's the Disney name,
Mhm.
they can do that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like they can do double what Netflix is doing per subscriber, and still probably get the same amount, if not more.
But that's only if for sure, if you're going to be paying $20 a month, then yes, sad to say Netflix, but that means pulling
Star Wars,
Star Wars, Marvel stuff. They're
the
especially
more adult
Netflix
content,
exclusive
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, we never know. Disney versus Marvel. And maybe
Disney
at some point
is- well-
Disney will. Disney versus Netflix. Maybe at some point Disney will just buy Netflix, and then problem solved.
Then they own the world pretty much,
Yeah.
so it's just a matter of time.
Okay. Next story: the Munsters. If you remember
Awesome.
them at all, they were the
Dun, dun,
nice, the happy
dun,
version of the
dun.
Addams Family.
Happy version.
Yeah. I mean, happy people walking around. They were the more friendly version of the Addams Family. The Addams Family was always like kind of weird group of individuals, and that was their shtick. Like they were weird, and they were okay with it. Like they were the alternative family television show. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
'cause
And the Munsters were essentially on another network, I think, and they were just like more friendly, happier people. Look at them.
They were
Look at Herman Munster.
They were more or less the universal monsters, if you will.
Yeah.
Family oriented. It's like the Leave It to Beaver, but with universal
Yeah.
monsters. But it was great. Let's see. So last week, the Deadline talked about the producers of an upcoming Monsters reboot. The project from Seth Meyers and Jill Cargan is currently in development at NBC. They got a synopsis of the show. So, inspired by the original series, the half-hour single-camera Monsters. Oh, so they're gonna go Office style.
Yeah.
Oh, are they gonna do? No.
I don't know if they're going to do the same programming, but it's going to
Yeah.
be single camera.
Okay.
At this point.
The Monsters now in development follows members of an offbeat family who are determined to stay true to themselves, but struggle to fit in the hipster Brooklyn.
Yeah.
In
So they moved
Brooklyn,
from California to Brooklyn.
In the original, the Munsters recited the famous 1313 Mockingbird Lane address in the city of Mockingbird Heights, a fictional suburb in California. I never thought it was a California, though.
Well, yeah, the California blonde in the family, and I
Not-
mean
to me, it was sure those-
their neighborhood was kind of dark, but it's also filmed in like Pasadena, so
What?
why not use the neighborhood?
That's true. So I just thought it was just generic suburban. But anyways, well, this is not actually going to be the first time that the Monsters have ever been rebooted. There's also been quasi rebooted versions of the Monsters movie with not the original cast
No,
in it.
because they're all
And-
dead.
Well, no. I mean, they were still alive when they did reboots of the
They have done
movies.
Monster movies though. Like
Yeah.
they've done Monster like movie versions of them, like
Yes.
in color.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but it wasn't with the original cast. There's been at least, I want to say, 3 to 4 different Lilies. No, not Lilies. Excuse me. What was the daughter?
The blonde girl?
The blonde girl.
Blonde girl. That's as far as I remember.
Oh, God, I can't
The
think
one you wanted to bang.
Herman, Grandpa Lilius. I don't say Sue or
The
something.
least
like
interesting of them.
That. Well, not interesting, but it's all right. I like
The white sheep.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The white sheep and the black sheep.
The only
family.
part that was always kind of interesting, like Herman's the Frankenstein monster,
Yeah.
Lily's a vampire, yet they have a werewolf child.
Yes, the milkman has a werewolf.
Exactly. Grandpa was always awesome. I love his one-liners. I'm surprised they didn't have any other kind of. Did they ever do a crossover? I don't think they ever done a crossover with the Addams Family, have they?
I always thought they were on different networks, so I'm like, that generally doesn't occur.
Yeah, but I would love to see that. That would
The Addams Family versus the Munsters.
I don't know about a versus, but at least
I
you
mean,
know.
like Herman Munster versus Lurch. the two kids versus like their one kid. I don't know. Werewolf versus light bulb kid. I don't know. Well, I'm just saying.
Pugsley,
Pugsley, yeah.
Pugsley and Wednesday, of course.
I feel like they'd murder him and like wear his skin, like for a coat or something.
They talked about things. They like little dark macabre, but they
Yeah.
never. You know, that's the thing. It was always kind of a joke. They always talked about things like that, like dark things that would have weapons, but they've never pulled through. You've never seen them actually go dark.
No,
and
no.
actually
I mean,
skin
yeah.
somebody.
No,
You know.
but it's always intimated, especially in like the Adam Sandler movies.
Like I love
Which,
the movies.
yeah,
I love the movies.
I enjoy the movies more than that television show.
It was
with the exception of like the main cast guy, the Addams Family dad. He was always much.
Robert Julia.
Yeah, he was much better as a television character than as a movie character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because, my thing was on it is like with at least the Addams Family movie, the soundtrack was kind of interesting because they would use like modern rap and whatever. They had MC Hammer sing like the Addams Family theme song. But as for the Munsters was always just a musical, at least for their theme song,
Yeah.
which was fun. Well, the big,
So is this something like you would watch on TV?
like I said, I personally did watch the reboot TV show of like I think it was during late '80s, early '90s, where they tried to bring it back. I think it was called like The Munsters Now or something like that.
I remember reading about like some version, and they ended up making it like a TV movie without the original cast. Like it was like in the '90s though.
Yeah, that was a whole different thing, and
So yeah, I mean, there's interest in it. It's just a fun franchise somebody owns. Like, why not turn it into something? And we'll try it again. We'll do a pilot episode of it. If it tanks, not a big deal. But like with them recycling so many television shows, like why not try this thing to see if it works as a sitcom or?
It's pop culture. They're bringing it in. You know, it's a matter of time before they do like say Mary Tyler Moore. Who knows if they're going to do ever Mary Tyler Moore.
I feel like New Girl's supposed to be like Mary Tyler Moore-ish.
Yeah, but she's
where it's like a single New Girl. No, you're thinking.
Oh no, I'm thinking
the Mini Project. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. The New Girl was never mind. Okay, next.
Hey,
story.
Marvel stuff.
Yeah. This is probably old for everybody else, but we weren't here for when it came out. Photos of Josh Brolin as Cable have shown up on the internet, released by Deadpool's character Ryan Reynolds. So for Deadpool, we were just looking at the photos. What did you think of these photos, man, when you saw them?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. They did really well. I'm kind of glad that they avoided giving him the ginormous shoulder pad armor kind of thing. But he looking wise, he kind of reminds me of the bad guy from Avatar that has this like scar claws on the side of his face.
Speaking of which, he's supposed to be the villain in Avatar 2 as well. And all those movies.
Oh.
That guy's supposed to be the villain for all of them. Apparently, he doesn't die in the first one.
No.
Even though it's pretty clearly shown. But yeah, Josh Brolin looks. You're right. He does look that way. He kind of looks like he would fit into like a Terminator movie.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like maybe a new Terminator, or like one of the soldiers from the future who's fighting the Terminators. Only has bionic parts because they were ripped off by some cyborg.
Totally. And if anything, if you're a hardcore Marvel enthusiast, is like I was wondering how far they were going to go with the cyber upgrades.
Cybernetics, yeah.
Exactly, because there's been some times where
it feels like they went with the Wolverine version of cybernetics, where they're not as pronounced until you actually just see them using it for some reason.
Exactly.
And then you're like, oh, that's a thing, but it's not a gimmick. It's just a part of their body, and it's used like normal. The thing I really liked about this particular photos was probably the teddy bear.
Yes.
I think that was the funniest.
Yes, that's
I
what
would
I'm
love to see
kinda
that as
wondering.
like a grenade teddy bear, or like just some future weapon. Like it's a teddy bear bomb or like a vortex weapon or something.
Well, that's the thing, especially if you're once again a hardcore Marvel comics. That I don't know if that's going to be connected to Hope in any while. So that's why I was like,
it's Hope's toy. He brought it for her.
Pretty much a little reminder of her and whatnot. But I'm glad they did give him the massive gun because that was another thing that's iconic for Cable, having a ginormous gun, a modified.
But otherwise, very military look.
I had one friend though tell me that he noticed a little
giant glowing eye.
No, the modification on the gun. There's actually a volume knob close to the butt of the gun, and I'm like, he's gonna crank that thing up to 11 and just blow the shit out of somebody.
Yep.
Oh man, but it's gonna be awesome.
Or it could be like for like some laser beam weaponish thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But he looks good. They pulled it off. You know, I wasn't sure if he was gonna get enough bulk because they were showing.
Well, he is getting bulk. He definitely worked out for the role.
They were showing the videos on him working out and all that. So especially the little semi-prosthetics.
No,
makeup
looks good.
of
I'm
molding.
definitely pleased with like this. Where they showed her, they showed him into Domino a couple weeks ago. So all your main characters already shown. We already know what the teenage girls, Sega Nintendo Ninja Sonic girl.
Nigga Sonic Teenage Warhead.
Yeah, that guy, that lady. We already know what she's gonna look like. Obviously, I'm not sure if they're bringing back Colossus.
I love Colossus.
I don't know what
He was awesome.
what actual Marvel character besides these guys are gonna show up, but like I'm already on board.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
totally.
Did they announce the villain for this movie yet?
No,
I don't think so. Yeah,
no,
okay.
especially for being Deadpool,
I
it
mean,
could
they're
be
not, I
anybody.
don't even think they're filming yet.
No.
But this is great stuff. I gotta say,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
pleased by it. Okay, on to Star Wars stuff. This is
Yeah, Lucasfilm announced that they are working on 2 new standalone Star Wars universe movies. The first one's going to be about Obi-Wan Kenobi. The second is going to be about Boba Fett, and the third one is about Jabba the Hutt.
Yep, Jabba the Hutt, which is a surprise to me. That, I mean, I know that within the expanded Star Wars universe, the Hutts actually have storylines. They actually have novels because they're a crime family. So it's very much like a Godfather story. But I've never visualized it as actual characters and stories, especially since it seems like it's hard for him to get around. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, like a wiggly worm guy, maybe when he was younger he was thinner. I don't know. Maybe he has a hover chair. You know, like that guy from Dune.
Yeah, but I could. Okay, Obi-Wan Kenobi, I totally get.
Yeah.
All Jedi history and all that stuff. Obviously,
I mean,
we
Boba
look-
Fett, no brainer, bounty hunter storyline,
Mhm.
favorite. I mean, favorite character for generations of fans, just because he flies. What do
He
you
just
want?
looks cool.
Yeah,
He just
has
looks-
rockets.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
But as for like exactly Boba Fett,
Like Jabba the Hutt. I mean, I guess there's the crime family aspect of it.
I always didn't never understand in any kind of a gangster film folklore or even any kind of boss when you have a big giant fat guy as your boss and dishing out the orders, the rules and stuff that you do. I'm all like, why am I listening? You can't even get off your ass. What? How come I have not killed you?
And then he eats you.
Okay,
No, I mean that
happens.
would be a thing with the Hutts. I think
Yeah.
that they eat their victims and their enemies, and they're intelligent, and no one disputes that about the Hutt culture. You don't get to be a successful crime family without some smarts, especially looking like they do. I mean, they're not exactly super intimidating.
No.
They're worm people.
Yeah. Like a giant slug. I'm
They're
surprised
as intimidating as Pizza the Hut from the
seriously.
Spaceballs.
I like he looks like a giant slug. I'm surprised
Yeah.
I just get a little salt shaker, just go yeah.
Yep, and then
just-
melt them.
Yeah, that's it. But
yeah, I can see the two. I'm curious to see what their script writing for number 3 though.
Mm-hmm.
That the fact that they're doing it doesn't surprise me. Major characters, why not give them independent storylines? The Han Solo movie seems to be doing well already in production.
Oh, yeah.
It's expected to make massive amounts of money, so why not do independent films for all your other characters?
yeah, because you got to admit, if it wasn't for the prequels, and unless you're the hardcore Star Wars fan that obviously read the books and all that little back folklore of the characters.
Yeah.
It got my interest, especially watching the Clone Wars and when I learned about Boba Fett and his history,
Yep.
like how he came to be. I was like, oh yeah, I actually want to know more about this
There
guy.
you go. Yeah, there's a story there. If there's a good story, make it into a good movie. That's all possible. Okay, next one. That one's going to be mine. Jessica Jones. Season 2 is filming now. And on the set has appeared David Tennant, who is the Purple Man. He was in season 1 of Jessica Jones. He was killed at the end of it. Like, neck snapped, and everybody thinks he's dead, but apparently he's shown up for season 2 as well. As whether it's he going to be the major villain or if he's a figment of our imagination or something, we don't know yet. But he has been seen on set, and there's a picture in Entertainment Weekly about his appearance. So good for them. I mean, Jessica Jones has been consistently very entertaining. I've enjoyed her time in The Defenders. Like, she is the funny one in the group, and I've appreciated her humorous lines.
Yeah, if anything, I'm thinking they're probably going to use him as for like flashback sequences of obviously more of the horrible stuff that he put her through and whatnot. But I don't know. I once again I wanted to know more about her relationship with Luke Cage, because obviously we know in the comics they
get
eventually
married,
married and have
Spoiler,
a family.
folks. Yeah.
For those enthusiasts. But I would definitely want to know more about that, where it's going to lead to. But of course, with Defenders coming out,
Me seeing on the Defenders now, like Luke Cage with the Night Nurse, I'm like, oh, I feel so sad because you feel like it's temporary. No matter how happy they are, you're like, oh, they're fated not to work out, even though they both enjoy coffee.
exactly.
So I'm like, so there you go. Okay, moving on to that particular just
Of course.
discussion.
Defenders. What else
yeah.
we going to talk
The
about?
Defenders came out this week on Netflix, starting on Friday. I think you already finished it, right?
I binged.
You finished it. I'm on episode
Spoilers.
7.
Only 8 episodes, so
yeah.
you're just one away. So you know, but I'm not gonna spoil the ending or anything on it. But once again, the relationship amongst all characters, especially how they all mingled with each other, it was interesting.
So you like the show?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it. Good action on it. Danny Rad still being Danny Rad, saying I'm Danny Rad. It's pretty much like Bob Dole. Like, I'm Bob Dole. Bob Dole this, Bob Dole that. But
Yeah.
nothing.
He is the least interesting character, and he's very whiny still. Like he's
yeah.
he's committed to that role.
Oh yeah.
Of whiny Danny Rand.
Exactly.
There are a few moments where he's talking with Power Man that are slightly entertaining, especially.
Yes.
But at that point, he's tied down, and those are probably the most entertaining scenes that I've seen from him yet. Besides him getting beat up by Power Man, spoilery, in episode 2.
I love just the verbal conflict between him and Luke Cage, saying like, "Dude, you're a white dude with power, with money. You could have fixed these problems a long time
besides
ago.
the glowing fist,
Like,
you're rich and white.
Now I'm gonna be an Avenger and do all the wrongs. Make them right and everything." I'm like, dude, really?
Like, you could have bought this neighborhood.
Exactly. You could have fixed it from day one. You were born with a silver spoon in your ass. You could have fixed things from way back.
I also thought it was interesting that every other member of the team beats up Danny Rand at some point.
No,
yeah,
he needed to get his ass kicked. Shit, I wanted to punch him in the mouth.
I'm like, oh, you think your glowing fist makes you amazing and special?
Fist you.
Everybody else beats you up, including the blind guy.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
but it was amazing. The only part that's kind of awkward, at least spoilers, everybody's in street clothes, except for
Daredevil later on.
Dons his gear
mid-season. Then he donned his gear,
and everybody looks at him like, really?
He's trying to protect his secret identity of the lawyer that's blind.
Yeah,
I guess.
All right.
I mean, that's part of the shtick, but I'm like, okay, that's fine.
I like the concept of the villains. I'm not gonna give too much of a spoiler on that, but like,
no, it's good villains all the way through. This is hand centric, so you see the hands, all the fingers of the hand.
Yeah. I was wondering about they even had the old lady, and the old lady does some moves. I'm not gonna say too much about it, but definitely we're checking her out. I was wondering how they were gonna. I wasn't sure if she was gonna be like an amazing like gymnast or just have like crazy powers and have her own version of a glowing kind of fist or anything, or what was gonna go down. But I love the trailer of the whole. Obviously, everybody fighting each other till eventually they get to know each other. Because the greatest scene is, of course, Iron Fist charging that thing up and hitting Luke Cage in the jaw. So you see,
you saw that coming up. They spent an extra amount of time on it because they knew it was gonna be in the trailer.
He hits them, that kind of deal.
And they live. What do you know?
Oh yeah, but definitely worth checking out. Sadly, it's only 8 episodes.
I'm sure they will. It's a good stuff still. Very entertaining, even if it's like only half of or a third of a season.
Yeah.
But we're still gonna have plenty of time to see. Finish 2, Jessica Jones, Power Man 2. They did redo Iron Fist for a season 2. I'm like, that's questionable to me, but you know what, Netflix, you have money to fail with at this point, so go for it.
And once again, depending on Disney, if they decide to pull their stuff, because that's their property.
But again, not until 2019, so all this is still going to go through Netflix up until then. At that point, I think their licensing deal runs out, and Disney can either renegotiate or pull stuff entirely.
It's all up to them.
There you go. Okay, that's it for most of the show. We have a quick movie trailer showdown, man. We have 4 trailers that came out this week that I thought were interesting. The Punisher teaser came out. So the Punisher for the Netflix teaser, very brief, not a lot of stuff, but interesting. Godzilla animated on Netflix coming out in November. Teaser for the Japanese subtitle version came out. Thor Ragnarok international one showing Doctor Strange came out as well. And then the Meyerowitz Stories with Adam Sandler, also for Netflix. So you saw all 4. Which one would you choose as your winner?
Going, of course, with Thor Ragnarok. Punisher teaser, sadly, wasn't much of a teaser. Even it was kind of weird because him with a sledgehammer hitting the pavement, and he just left the of course Punisher insignia on the ground, which that was it. And I walk away. That was it. Well,
there were some scenes about him killing people and a little bit of his backstory as a military man. And some hints at who had killed his family. Yeah. They actually showed the wife getting, well, not showing her, but the guy with the gun pointing it at him, and then the gunshot. So the Punisher trailer was not a trailer, a teaser. Yeah. It is what it is. But they are filming that currently, so it's okay, this is the stuff we can show you because this is what we filmed. And I'm sure we'll see more about it later. But I think the guy who plays him, John Berthnall, I think it is,
Mm-hmm.
very good Punisher. Has that rage thing going down pretty well.
I was just surprised because his look was always kind of like I always loved God, what was his name from the actual Punisher movie? Not Dolph Lundgren, but
Oh, the white guy with the black hair.
pretty much yeah. He looks a lot
And
like
I think I see what you're talking about. He was
he looks a lot like the guy
looks
from
like the-
Firefly.
he looks the guy from Highlander.
Yeah,
He
there
looks
you
like,
go.
yeah, well, just like a taller version of that guy. I think.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No, he just had a look. 'Cause plus, I don't know.
this guy's fine. I mean, I think the Punisher is more an attitude
Yeah.
than a particular look.
Mhm.
The same way that the Daredevil and Luke
True.
Cage are. So it's do they carry themselves? Do they project the same
Mhm.
characteristics that you expect from the character? Even if they're shorter, because you're never going to get big hulking comic book versions of them.
Of course.
I mean, you have a very small pool of like bodybuilders to pull from in that case, and very
Exactly.
few of them are amazing actors as well. And so I think the character acting is just more important.
Yeah.
And I think he does a good job of muted rage and violence.
Mhm.
You know, like a pot that's just about to boil over at any minute. He kind of projects that very well. So I'm like, good for him. I'm glad he got his own series basically.
Okay. What do you think, especially with Thor Ragnarok coming out? Obviously, Mr. Chris Hemsworth gets his locks chopped off. Do you think that's going to start a trend? All these man bun guys are going to start cutting off their hair, and obviously he's rocking a beard, so it's like
It just
no, that's
depends whether or
gonna
not they stop getting sex.
win.
If that's what happens, like when they go back for the clean cut guy, then sure, I'm sure they will.
Beards are gonna go away. I don't know.
But yes, I don't think muscly white guys are going to go out of fashion anytime soon with the ladies.
Yeah, exactly. But the Merriwood Stories with Adam Sandler.
Yeah, that's the one I
interesting.
chose. I thought this was of the four the most entertaining. I like the Godzilla one just because it's Godzilla in the future with
Yeah.
rockets and stuff. That's cool. I'll
Yeah.
watch it on Netflix. But this had so many funny people in it. I mean,
Ben Stiller, of course.
Ben Stiller, Adam Sandler, Dustin Hoffman,
Now Dustin Hoffman, he's rocking
Emma
a beard
Thompson.
because just haven't seen him in
Um,
forever.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
just
surprised
these people together. I'm like, these are all entertaining, funny people, and just the trailer by itself looks super hilarious.
I'm surprised he wasn't gearing up for some kind of Santa Claus role, rocking that beard. But Dustin Hoffman, honestly, to me, my favorite Dustin Hoffman character, whatever that he played in anything, Captain Hook, in Hook. Because honestly, I didn't even know that was him for like the longest time.
Is it him? I don't
It's
think
Dustin
about
Hoffman
it. Yeah, is it?
because of the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wig and everything. He plays Captain Hook.
Well, there you go. Learn something new every day.
Yeah,
folks.
yeah.
That's it, though. Those are the movie trailers of the week we enjoyed. Thanks for hanging out with us. That's actually the end of the show.
Short
if
and
you
sweet.
Yeah, if you want to help support the podcast in any way, shape, or form, you can do so at
geekbitespodcast.com/support.
There you go. Thank you very much for listening and for watching and for hanging with us. For Geek Bites Podcast, I am Ramon Mejia.
I'm Edgardo Costa.
And remember, folks, to go geek out about something.